And now you run your own podcast, so all these people can be front row for the ramblings of a crazy man.
No, I leave the ramblings of crazy men to Steve. Because for basically 2 off-season games, he's played crazy characters.
It all goes down to the flaming chupacabras.
See,
I don't think the dogs are real.
What was the character name from the superhero one-shot?
Psych Out.
Psych Out.
Yeah.
So now I would like to think that Psych Out's got a little hand radio that has old recordings of Bronson on it.
Same universe.
Yeah.
He just disappeared he stopped being an asshole one day.
No, it's just a different flavor of asshole.
No, and that's where Psych Out's conspiracy theories come in because up until the mid '50s he was this hard-hitting, truth-seeking asshole, and then after that he became kind of like a weird televangelist, and so Psych Out knows something's going on there.
It's a different flavor of asshole.
Or what's even funnier, everyone else is aliens, but Psych Out was actually a human, and he knows that everybody is not quite right. He's the only sane one.
Who wants butterscotch?
Speaking of being the only sane ones, welcome to the Average Adventuring Party podcast.
Where you, the listeners, are the only sane ones here.
And not for long.
Yeah, they're listening to us, so how sane can they be? So what happened last time, you guys?
We didn't get eaten by pixies?
Darn.
In
You
fact,
missed your chance.
we got to ride the Pixie Express, which is not a euphemism. We got high on pixies. Also, not a euphemism.
Pixie sticks.
I don't know what they did to you while we flew, but
That ain't pixie dust that made you fly.
Whisper's not the only one sporing all over the place.
yeah, and then there are lots of dead forest. That's a small matter, nothing to be concerned about. Made it to the Druid Moots. Then we talked with your mom.
Yes.
By your mom, I mean Suna's mom, because I'm looking over at Suna.
Yes.
Honey Biscuit.
Who gave us some advice that we have to go see some elves.
Joy.
I forget what Suna's mom's name is. It's just Honey Biscuit now.
She repeatedly referred to them as quote-unquote elves.
True elves.
The true elves of the forest.
Yes. So, but we decided to bathe first.
Her name is Naoko.
That's right. Now,
Sorry,
Also-
Honey Biscuit over here.
Also, Suna was so rancid that she killed some flowers because she stinks so bad. Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
At least I got to kill something in that episode.
True.
Whisper made friends with the Fear Eater.
they're really hitting it off.
And a Wendigo.
Yeah, he's a nice little snack.
Whisper doesn't know fear.
Yeah,
That's
you keep
true.
popping right
Actually,
back up.
you do, the Fear Eater. You know him.
No, anytime fear gets around, he just eats it. Whisper's like, what was that? I don't know.
So yeah, that's where we'll pick up with Suna finishing her bath, Todoki and Giovanna likewise finishing their baths.
Okay.
Does Whisper eventually reconstitute himself, or does he stay in pint-sized form?
Nah. But I think Whisper is,
He's now a third of a mushroom.
split into 4. I think eventually 2 of them will reconstitute. But the other 2 parts are going to stay with the frog people and the willow.
Okay.
So you'll get half a Whisper. So I know like his thing is normally split into 4 separate things, but I'm going to play it like he split into 4 separate things. 2 of them have reconstituted. The other 2 are just... So he's basically split in half, and only half of Whisper is going to be in the scene, I think, if that makes sense.
He's only halfway paying attention.
Yeah.
Yeah. So each of those bathhouses had like a burlap type sack full of smell good stuff. So you all smell fairly flowery.
Much better than we did about 10 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Civilization once again.
Okay,
Yeah, okay.
let's go talk to these elves.
Yes. Yes.
What are we talking to him about?
Just
Just go with it.
yeah, just go with it, pretty boy.
Okay.
Just
Wow, you're easygoing.
For now,
Just know that it could help us.
I'm used to secrecy and lack of trust from our fearful leader. I mean,
Okay.
My dad?
fearless.
Hey, you're the general now.
I am the general.
We're just not going to tell
Save
you
some
what's going on yet.
Wait. Not a sponsor.
I hear if you go to the general, you can save some time.
Worry the person you hit.
So anyways, you just don't need to know just yet.
Just look pretty, you know?
So what are you guys wearing?
The tattered remains that we were murdered in is
Have any other clothes?
Probably
would
not really.
assume. I probably ran some of it under the water, tried to wash the worst of the blood off.
Yeah, we just wander real quick.
Um,
Suna can gust us while we walk. And we'll dry off.
Yeah. So as you approach these crystalline towers of the true elves,
really quickly, what do I know of true elves?
Other than sarcasm.
well, that's complicated because it all depends on your station. So within the sovereignty, the sovereign elves consider themselves true elves.
Yes.
Like the Horse Nation, which is far to the south.
Are the true elves.
No.
No.
The sovereignty considers them bastard elves.
Oh, I meant the Horse Nation elves probably saw themselves as true elves.
In their own way, yeah. Same with the Bear Nation, the Bird Nation elves. All the various different nations
Or the true elves.
typically consider them themselves the true elves. The exception being a couple of factions that work together. And even then, they kind of have their stations in life. So while you're pondering this, you actually come across the first one who sees you, and it's a woman. And she lets out a gasp and just like takes off running. So you're kind of left standing by one of these crystal spires. And as the wind plays through all of the crystalline structure, it lets out this very pleasant flute-like music.
It's a giant wind chime.
Pretty much. That mixed with like a pipe organ.
Yeah, because the wind is blowing through it like a giant old flute.
Yeah, so it's like it is a very cheery tone that's constantly playing. And it's fairly nuanced. Eventually, one of these quote-unquote true elves steps out. He is very tall. He's probably bordering on 7 foot tall. Very thin, and he looks fragile, almost. Very pale. His ears are twice the length of
Todoki's.
and his eyes are a glimmering, like actually shining green, and they are solid. He has long platinum blonde hair that goes down past his knees, and it's in a very tight braid.
Good.
He comes walking over to you with purpose, like stops, looks each of you up and down, and says, I am Avaris of the High Branches. What brings you to my enclave?
Good evening. I am Suna.
Yes.
Used to be guardian of the forest.
It's not working out so well for you, is it?
No, not at all. Yeah. So we are.
Points at Whisperance. You stop that.
Whisper just kind of like regards him, turns around and leaves.
We,
All the better.
We're looking for an alchemist.
Yes. To what end?
We have a formula that we would like to know if it can be reversed.
I see.
What does the formula do?
Excuse you.
Don't mind him. So
I need no excuse.
we are trying to get help here.
Yes, and you're doing a terrible job of it.
He is doing a terrible job.
Oh,
As you came together, I assume you represent one another.
I can leave him behind if that would help.
Better a bastard where I can see him than where I cannot.
Okay. If he would kindly be quiet for the moment and, I'll explain later. We have a formula that we would like to know if it can be reversed.
And why, pray tell, would you want to reverse a successful formula?
Because the person who performed the formula would like it to be reversed.
Huh.
They're just not present to do it themselves.
and who would that be?
Yes, and I would that the elves leave my forest, and yet it has not happened.
That is very true, very true, very true. So, what if we told you that the elf that came up with this formula has maybe there's a chance that they could help us remove.
Elves don't help.
Avaris looked at you and says, "True elves do."
Gio's gonna take Todoki would do a friendly, over the shoulder thing and wean him off somewhere, but we're doing a chokehold and dragging him off slightly to tell him, okay, Todoki, I know you're trying to help, but you need to shut up.
You're working with a fucking elf? What the hell?
I am prepared to punch them in the nose if they do not cooperate, but let us try to negotiate here before we start punching things, okay?
Your companions are being particularly rude by leaving a conversation before it's over.
I know, and I do apologize very, very heavily. We are trying to educate him on how to have a polite conversation.
Yes,
Oh, that's
I'm
rich.
afraid that's a skill above someone like him.
Yes. But, we're trying. We are
Yes.
trying to educate.
And we'll come back shortly after.
He just stares at you with his big green eyes.
So, would you happen to have an alchemist that could look at the formula?
You still have not explained to my satisfaction why you would
Oh.
reverse something you have successfully completed.
Because what if it was an accident? And so we didn't mean, not me, the person this elf that performed and did this formula,
Yes.
maybe they did it accidentally, so now we need to know how to reverse it.
I don't believe something so complex would be an accident.
Okay.
It's more this elf has contacted us and wants this to be reversed. It was meant to be a temporary measure to make transporting this item easier.
Mm-hmm.
But if you don't think you're up for the task, maybe we can find someone else. I'm sure there's plenty of alchemists around here, aren't there?
I'm sure we could go ask the frog people.
Yes. The mud dwellers, sure.
I'm still caught up on the fact that y'all are working with an elf behind my back without telling me after all those bastards did?
Do you know alchemy?
I don't. But why haven't I heard about this before now?
If you're going to argue amongst yourselves, please do it outside of my encampment.
So before you walk away,
Do you have anything
What
to
if
base your question upon.
What if I offer a trade for your help?
I doubt that you have anything worth my time, but go ahead. We are on meeting grounds.
I mean, I have this lovely staff.
He looks at it and just... No.
Didn't think so. What if I could introduce you to a minotaur?
That poor bastard.
I guess would stomp this guy into the fucking dirt. Galdrian would stomp this guy into the fucking dirt.
He gets
We're
this,
not going to mention what Arth would do.
this confused look on his face and says, "That sounds like a made-up creature."
Oh, I assure you it is not. I played with his nose ring.
He is magical. He cast these hands.
Is that the primary purpose of this creature?
No, he was more like a bodyguard.
Then what benefit would I gain from being introduced to one of them?
Because it's a creature you have never met.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Now, I don't know what these ladies are talking about, but I do happen to be in possession of war plans of the Elvish, the sovereignty, and where their camp locations are, so that you and your people can attack them and drive the elves out of your forest, if that is something that it would interest you. But first, I would need to know if the value is high enough and what it is we're trading away for.
He raises an eyebrow and says, "Unless they are within the surrounding miles, I don't think it's going to be worth much. And within the week or so, I imagine the enchanted forest will be gone. So my concern at the moment is protecting what we have, as opposed to going on the offense."
What if I can tell you that by reversing this formula, you will be protecting what you have?
And you can guarantee that?
Yep.
With what?
Yes.
Are
with
you
what?
willing to place your being on the line for that? Someone else's?
Drag this back in, like, looking around like, what?
Yes.
To what part of the question?
I would be willing to put my life on the line.
Interesting. Very well. Let me see your formula.
Do you have it?
Yes, I
Yes.
will give it to you. I will hold it up to him and make it very clear I'm not handing this paper over. You can look at it, but you can't take it until we have a deal.
He bends down and looks at it. This is very crude. I see what they're going for.
Okay.
So let me ask you a question.
Okay.
What body are you going to house this soul in, should this be reversed?
Yeah, that is a problem we didn't
Yeah,
consider.
that's a good question. Good question.
Whisper walks back into the room as two whispers. Not really, but I just thought that would be funny.
You walk by as two whispers.
We will have to figure that out.
Yes, you will. Without the vessel housing the soul, it will be destroyed. Unless you have something to house it.
So somebody that recently passed away,
No.
like that? No.
A dead body does not
No. Okay.
retain the capacity to house a soul like this. This is not drawing a soul in from the underworld or from the astral sea. This is housing a living being in another living body.
Does that destroy the soul of the existing soul?
Oh yes. Can they share the same body?
I wouldn't imagine for long.
One of them would win.
Eventually, yes. We have some shall we say, experience in matters like this. My people are capable of crafting, I suppose you would call them, living crystal vessels that could house something like this. However, it would take some time to grow one and integrate it. This is, and he points at he just slaps the page, very crude and hastily done.
Yes.
There are multiple errors here.
And I don't doubt that, as it was a rush decision.
Yes, I see that.
So
Done by an inexperienced alchemist.
I mean, she is learning.
Yes. Quite. Some people should stick to potions.
Okay. So
Out of character. Fuck this guy.
From halfway across the continent, a dagger comes flying across. Oh, what the fuck?
His lips kind of purse for a moment, and he says, "You are the daughter of Yoshiyuki?"
yes.
I have a proposition for you then.
Okay.
Have your father cede the forest to us, and we will help you with your problem.
No, Yashi
And-
won't go for that.
Your leadership and your father's leadership have led us to this situation. And the true elves have the longevity and experience of multiple lifetimes to clean up this mess and guide it into a better age.
Counterpoint, the longevity of the elves of the sovereignty is exactly why we're in this mess now. So,
I would argue.
no deal is worth that.
I would argue to your counterpoint that the actions of the younger races have led to this current situation, as the sovereignty knew its place until something on the outside happened. And for some reason, they started attacking right after you left the forest. So it only seems fair to me that somehow you provoked them.
Elvish apologists making excuses for other elves. That is why, again, you cannot hand this over to the elves.
Oh, don't get me wrong. I would gleefully slaughter every one of them, including you.
Again, I reiterate my point.
Can I take a few minutes to meditate and think on this proposition?
I would hold that you have until, and he looks up at the sky. The sun reaches the trees and the moot starts. Because you will need to bring this up as an issue before the moot. I feel if I were to bring it up, it would be considered self-serving.
Oh, this guy's not self-serving.
Not at all.
Not at all. Okay. So the deal would be I talk my father into giving you the forest.
Your mother and father would have to leave.
Okay. And in return, you would reverse the formula for us and help us come up with a vessel for the soul?
A living vessel.
Yes, a living vessel.
Correct.
Okay.
He points at the largest crystalline spire and says, My library is at the top of that spire. You may reach me there.
Okay.
What about if we find another vessel? What would it take just to reverse this thing they're talking about?
I imagine a promise to restore our lost lands would do first.
What are your lost lands?
He points, off to the horizon where that red mist is and says, that way. We would require priority over any other representative for restoration.
Okay. Okay.
Not self-serving at all.
All right.
He gives you a slight bow and then just disappears in a puff of flowers.
So I'm going to start walking away from the crystal towers because I don't want to stand here and discuss
Fucking
things.
elves!
And I'm going to, do the neck hold. That's just sort of a chokehold on Todoki. Okay,
God,
Hey.
fucking elves!
Todoki. Our understanding is that the alchemist involved here was not a sovereignty elf.
Okay, all right.
Okay, you okay now? You
I
good?
can live
you
with
good?
that.
Okay, cool. Now, next time we talk to this guy, shut up.
No problem.
Try.
Fucking.
Try. Yes, he is a fucking asshole. An absolute fucking asshole. With his head straight up his tall ass.
But if he
I know
helps
that.
us, doesn't matter whether or not he's an asshole.
Well, let's try to find a vessel for this thing and before we go begging to him.
So
Oh, hey, Whispers back.
the letter that I have, it said that it was the soul of the Emperor's son that they thought was on our side, correct?
No, that they knew was on your side
Okay.
and was assassinated for it.
Okay. Okay. So then, Suna knowing this, even if I was to release the soul, I guess what kind of expectation can Suna have that the sun could do anything to help us? Not that I'm out.
That's a good question.
For someone that used to live in the Sun Chaser sovereignty.
Yeah, maybe.
As everyone turns to look at Mike.
Okay, so, I would like to walk, farther away from everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm still not going to talk very loudly. I was about to call you Todoki again.
Hey, to poopy.
Hey, to shithead!
Todoki. So, you knew the Emperor. Knew of the Emperor, right? Right? When you worked in soldier. You were a soldier for them, right?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So, did you know the Emperor's kids?
No.
Okay.
I know of them, but
So you didn't know any of them?
yeah, it's not like the Emperor's children were wont to walk among the crowds.
True. Okay. So I'm just going to flat out ask. If one of his sons happened to have, been against this whole war thing and been on our Enchanted Forest people's side, like you have turned, what could that son do to help the Enchanted Forest?
Oh, aside from petition his father to say, hey, don't do this,
Wait a
I'd
minute,
have to-
you can petition somebody? What does that mean?
So that would be where he goes before the royal presence and says, please don't do this, essentially, in a much more formal and bureaucratic way. As in, you can petition a court to do something, to interject, to intercede if there is, let's say your neighbor is claiming more of your land, and, well, you probably wouldn't understand this because you come
'Cause
from
I'd
a
just
fucking
kill my
forest. Yeah.
Bureaucracy.
Okay,
So-
okay. So let me ask you this. Let's say we were to find ourselves with one of the Emperor's sons.
Oh, you kidnapped a child? That is
No.
fantastic. We
No,
can
no,
definitely get
no.
some leverage there.
No. Let's say one of the Emperor's son was on our side.
How many sons does the Emperor have?
Probably 50, 60.
Okay.
One of the Emperor's sons was on our side. And let's say I could get a hold of him and bring him over to, he's on our side. How would that help us?
Well, it depends. What tier of son are you talking about?
Did it say in the letter?
Like, is it his firstborn? Is it?
It said his name.
If I said the name of the son, could you tell me what tier he was?
Absolutely.
I'm going to tell him I don't remember the name.
Sugihara.
Sugihara. That was the firstborn son, right?
No. He was probably like 10 or 12, somewhere in there.
Okay. So he's fairly high tier, but there's multiple others that would inherit the throne before his father. So, I mean, he's of some importance, but he's also dead.
What if he was not?
No, he is most definitely dead.
Okay.
But what if he was not?
They had a state funeral. There was a body.
Oh, yes, there's a body.
He's definitely dead.
No. Do you know why he was killed? Or how he ended up dead?
Did you kill him?
No. That would have been cool, but no.
I'm somewhat lost at this point.
Okay, so I'm just
how is
going to
this-
flat out tell you, okay? So
Okay.
look.
So
Apparently,
if you decide to yell about it, I am going to squish your face.
yes, if
You
you speak
understand that.
one word of this, which is why Whisper cannot know, because he does not understand secrets.
Uh-huh.
So,
Do you have the bastard son of the bastard of Sugihara?
no.
Did you have a love tryst with this elf?
No.
Is this really what this is about?
No.
Todoki?
So, see, if that particular son was against his father, was on the side of the enchanted forest, so they killed him.
And possibly knew who wanted this war to begin with.
Yes. And so they killed him.
Who is they?
We're not sure about that part.
We're not sure about that part.
Okay,
They didn't
all
tell
right.
us that part.
Who is they on the
So,
other they?
So
alchemist.
we have a let's say a spy within their ranks that was able to house his soul in this alchemic
Gem.
gem. And now has given it to us because if we can free him, apparently he's supposed to be able to help.
Okay. How?
I don't know, that's why I'm asking you.
Oh,
How can the son of the emperor help? How important is this?
so aside, would I have any idea how this son of the emperor might help?
He is powerful enough that his father allows him to maintain his own private army.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, that makes much more sense. Oh, yes. He is very favored, and he actually has his own private army, so that might
That could be why he was killed.
be a good start.
That could be why they wanted him dead.
Could be.
So, this is why we need the asshole of an elf to reverse this alchemic to release his soul, because maybe he could help.
Well, the real problem I see here, besides all the other problems, which there are a multitude,
When has that ever stopped us?
Yes.
but your deal with this elf, creating him into a crystalline structure, one that taints him with these elves, which makes him an illegitimate heir. You actually... fuck. You need an actual elf.
Hi.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Know any?
Do you know any?
Uh-huh.
We don't.
So-
we really don't.
Hey, why don't we wait a minute?
Oh no.
Why don't we go to one of the camps and kidnap one?
Okay, that's not where I thought you were going, but I like that plan.
I mean,
Where'd you think I was going?
We shove it into Todoki.
No,
That's where I
because
thought
what
you
if
were going.
Todoki wins and then the soul of the emperor's gone? No.
Okay, good. You're thinking.
Well, the thing is, we need more information on if it has to be a willing subject or not. If you can just shove us...
I'll go back up there and ask.
You can go get fucked.
Well, then we're just going with it doesn't have to be willing. Who are we going to find that's willing? Nobody. Nobody wants to die and give up their body. So...
Hey, where's Whisper?
Why whisper?
I just thought of something and I want to double check.
Okay.
I'll be right back.
Okay.
I'm gonna go to go track down a Whisper.
Yeah. What does she find Whisper doing?
Kicking a rock.
Oh, buddy, are you sad? Are you sad?
Nobody liking
Gio gets a thought spore of that elf, and then just like Whisper doesn't know the word asshole, but
But
it's
you
like
can't
the
imagine
least
hentai.
attractive part of a mushroom. He's comparing that elf to the least attractive part of the mushroom.
The part
Aw,
that grows
big
from the
guy.
shit.
Oh, big guy, we all want to murder that guy in the worst way possible. He is. Ugh. Okay. Do you remember what Smokey said about? Not Smokey. Honey Biscuit said about who's here. Was there something?
Wendigo,
A guy who'll eat your soul.
soul eater, spirit that eats souls.
Yeah, somebody who just will eat the big spirit dude. That's the big spirit dude, right?
Is that the willow?
Yeah.
Currently having a conversation.
Oh, you're okay. So one of you is talking to him. Yeah.
Nod.
Can you ask him if he really does eat souls?
Very tactfully.
Do you know what a soul is?
Really?
Whisper has a soul.
Whisper has a soul.
Okay, all right.
Whisper is a conglomeration of souls.
Whisper asks the willow
That rumor's true.
what happens when one's soul is eaten.
So this thought spore conversation goes back and forth. What Whisper gets out of it is that anything that dies of fear in his presence, he absorbs.
So he absorbs the soul from something that dies.
Specifically from fear.
From fear in his presence. So,
Coincidentally, he also induces pants shitting levels of fear in most living creatures.
Mm-hmm. So Whisper gets back to Geo with that information, saying that when something dies of fear near the willow, he consumes its soul.
That's
But-
dead.
What are you going to ask Whisper if like the body is just completely.
Like everything's stopped and it's gonna start.
Are they brain dead at that point,
Yes.
or are they body dead?
Yeah.
Whisper asks, "How dead?"
So basically, in the second between the body entering that state and the body shutting down, he takes their soul. Like, the body is not harmed or mutilated in any way, but they are not alive for much longer after their soul is removed.
So Whisper points out there's a brief window before the body is no longer alive.
You want to come help me explain that to the other two? Well, they don't kill each other first.
Whisper nods.
Yeah, and Gio's gonna hold out her hand like he's a little brother or something. So this is little Whisper.
Yeah, Whisper.
And we're gonna walk back over. Hey, tiny chance of kidnapping a dude and having him work.
Oh, yeah?
Would you like to elaborate, Whisper?
Whisper doesn't
Big
know
guy?
what's going on, but does share everything that Whisper knows about how if a creature dies of fear near the willow spirit, which happens a lot because the willow spirit is terrifying for some reason, even though Whisper finds him delightful.
He is a wonderful conversationalist.
Yeah, just wonderful
It's
conversation.
almost like he has thousands of lifetimes worth of experience in his way.
And but there's a brief window where between the soul leaving the body and the body dying.
Okay. So then the trick would be
Getting
That's
the
cool.
other
War
soul
crimes.
into that body and not having him see the fear dude and dying.
blindfold.
Oh, that's good. That's good. That soul leaves the body. We blindfold, put the new soul in.
Yeah, we just have to be very, very coordinated. Are we that coordinated?
Whisper
Or
just forms vines immediately and just blindfolds Todoki in like a snap.
or our big guy here can split himself into four. And does not seem to be scared of the soul devouring thing.
Nod, nod, nod.
Unfortunately, he doesn't know alchemy.
Well, I mean, he would be maneuvering the body. Point A, point B. Blindfolded it.
Okay.
So, new.
As long as we could get another vessel, we just have to make the other deal with him to where we protect their area of the forest first. And then I don't have to, ask my dad to give up the whole forest.
I don't want your dad to give up the forest to that asshole.
Yeah. So I think this is a better plan of just, getting a vessel. And although would you still be okay that they help us?
Who are they?
The
Remember
true
Whisper.
elves.
Okay, well, you keep on tossing all these theys around. I was wondering if it was like a fifth party.
I mean, I do have another party that I need to get back to.
Oh, you want to get back to him.
That
That son of a bitch owes me cookies.
Yes.
We'll use whatever tools we have to, and they are definitely tools.
Word.
Yes.
Okay.
Tazing.
So. Ooh, I wonder if they have cookies.
You don't want their cookies.
No. Though
It's
they,
at least 100 milligrams. Like, it's...
they won't have sugar in them.
Oh, ew.
They seem like those.
Why would
kind
you
of-
want a cookie with no sugar?
They
Want
seem
some
like
granola?
those granola health nuts.
Ew. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, where's the closest camp?
I don't know. We've been dead for a week.
Okay. So how about you sweet talk my dad into giving you the location of the nearest camp?
Okay. I can go try.
You do not tell him why.
Yeah, absolutely. counterpoint, he's probably slightly busy preparing for the moot, and I hold my hand up. And how far until the sun hits the treetops?
For about 15 minutes.
Yeah, I was going to say like 20 minutes.
We definitely won't be able to do it now. And he was saying this was something you needed to bring before the moot.
Yeah, yes, but not all this.
No, but true. And if you don't bring it, the elf asshole may.
Yeah, okay. So I guess we need to go tell him that we will take care of the vessel. We just need his help reversing.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm going to head over to that.
Ask him how long the process is, too.
Yeah, that'd be
Oh,
important.
yeah, that'd be important. Okay. So I'm going to head over to where he said he would be.
Do you want us to come with you?
I'm coming with her regardless, because that guy's a dick.
He is a dick. Whisper, you still off to go play with yourself?
Whisper nods.
Now he actually can play with himself up to 4 different times.
Yep. So you go to Avaris's crystalline spire. The inside constantly has like a warm summer breeze rolling through it. When you get to the top, he is sitting on a desk, a crystalline desk, and he's unpacked a wooden trunk full of books, and is still in the process of unpacking. Basically, as he's pointing a wand at it, he's directing it to a bookshelf, and books are just flying out and finding their way to shelves. And when he sees you walk in, he stops and puts his wand down, and just all the books fall exactly where they are. And he says, yes. A knock would have been nice, but I suppose you can just walk into my library.
You did say.
I told you where it was.
Yes.
There was a door for a reason.
Ah, well. Did you expect anything less from us?
I honestly didn't expect you to come back. And he looks out the window, cutting it quite close.
Yes. So, we have decided that we will get our own vessel.
I see.
If you would help us with reversing the formula.
And do you have the vessel at this moment?
Well, my question was going to be, how long would this take you to reverse?
It depends. I would need to see the stone, analyze it for weaknesses, and extrapolate from there. I would imagine if it was, and he holds up one dainty fist, that big, 20 minutes. Longer if it's larger and more flawed.
Would that be the entire process of undoing it, or could you hold off the last step until the vessel was ready? And then do a quick transfer then?
I suppose the final transformation could be withheld for a time, but not long.
Okay.
Define not long. Are we talking seconds?
I would
Minutes,
say
hours, days, millennia.
you could probably hold it for the length of the ritual thus far.
So 20 minutes.
So if it took 20 minutes to unravel all but the final inscription, you could hold it theoretically for another 20 minutes before the vessel just finishes it itself.
And what kind of surroundings would be needed? Would you have to do it in your lab, or can you do it at a particular location, or?
I could do it anywhere that I'm able to remain undisturbed.
I wonder if a big fucking willow spirit would be disturbing.
Okay.
Is that a horrible thought?
Provided you have enough room for the new vessel, myself, and This monstrosity of a soul gem? Yes.
Okay.
But, again, that's assuming one of our craftsmen made something along this lines and did so flawlessly. Each error in the formula, each error in the vessel increases that amount potentially exponentially.
Okay. So, we are going to get actually, since we're about to meet the moots, we're going to do that first.
If you're going through with this, I suggest that you leave the current vessel and formula with me. My people who are not attending the moots will analyze it. And when we are done, in some hours, I will have a better idea of what to look at. That way I may give my full attention to the moots.
How can you guarantee us that you're not just going to reverse it while we're gone? And
why would I do that when it garners me nothing? When you've promised no support in front of the moots for my argument.
So it sounds like you need to go talk to your dad and see if he would be willing to support this.
No. If she brings the issue to the moots. Her father has no vote. He is the arbitrator.
Sounds like you need to talk to your mom. Because she has no votes. She is just an interested party. She doesn't speak for her people right now. Her mother does.
I'm not asking you to speak for your people. I'm asking you to show your support.
that we will clear your land first.
That you will restore our lands first.
So how can I restore your lands?
You cannot.
Okay. But you
but
want
the
me
combined strength of the people of the moots can.
Okay.
I simply ask that they turn that restorative power to us first.
So, in my meeting with the moots here in a few minutes,
you will bring that up as an issue.
Yes.
And throw your support behind it.
Yes. Okay, and if they say no or it does not happen...
You will not be the only one arguing. We simply require that you bring it up first. We will make the arguments.
Ah. Okay. But let's just say, long shot, they still say no. How can I guarantee that you won't do something with my stuff?
There's always a written contract.
I have no desire for something as flawed and primitive as this. You are asking me, and now you are insulting me by implying that I would steal something so flawed and broken.
Oh, okay.
She's used to dealing with different types of elves.
And it is only the fact that I have given you my word so far that is keeping me from changing the tenets of this deal.
Ah.
For that insult.
Okay. Good to know that I'm still able to insult things.
Only you would be proud of that.
I mean, gotta give me something here. Okay. So...
I am giving you thousands of years of experience.
Yes, and I appreciate this.
We'll pay you with exposure.
The last thing we want is to expose ourselves.
Okay, so... Geo?
And he looks out the window. The sun is going down if you wish for this to take place. And he just holds out a hand.
I will pull the gem out of my pack and drop it in his hand.
And the formula.
And then the formula in the other hand.
He holds it fairly easily, puts it on his desk, and reaches into a pocket, pulls out a tiny crystalline pan flute, and plays a couple of notes. And fairly quickly, a few very nicely dressed elves walk in. He points at the stone and says, begin analyzing that. I have to attend the moots. And he, stands up, pulls a wand out and points it at himself, and a very long, dressy cape appears around his neck. Yes. Well.
That's nice.
I know.
Oh.
Then
Okay.
our pact is sealed.
Yes.
Very good. I expect you will not be required to bring it up until the second or third night.
What?
It'll be a long moot.
How many nights is this thing?
Until all of the available issues are discussed.
Okay. And you really think there's so many issues that it's going to...
No, but I expect the debate over what to do about our current predicament is going to take some time.
Well, this will give us time to locate an appropriate, to procure an appropriate vessel.
That's true. That is true. Okay.
Yes. And I would like you to know that regardless of your ability or inability to procure a vessel, this will happen before we leave, or not. If it has not happened by the time we leave.
What has not happened? Which part?
The transfer.
The transfer.
Okay.
Then we will leave. I am not requiring my people to stay here longer than necessary.
I see what you're saying. Okay. No, we will have a vessel before then.
Excellent. If you'll excuse me, I'd rather not be late. I think you know where the door is. And he disappears in another puff of flowers.
Well.
The other elves that he called in have picked up the stone and are observing it and making notes.
Sorry your boss is such a dick.
And I will have you know that I know of another elf that will write a nasty song about him, and it will go everywhere.
They don't even look up at you.
I mean, I'd like to hear that.
Yeah.
To the moots! I mean, we're technically at the moot, but...
So, when you step outside for the moot, Yoshiyuki is sitting cross-legged, basically 10 steps up on this ruined temple, just so he's above everybody else. When Whisper encountered the Fear Eater, it was like off in a corner, and now there is just a weeping willow tree at the base of the temple.
Whispers. One of the whispers is leaning against it, all buddy.
While everybody's walking up towards that and everything. Hey, Whisper.
Which whisper?
Any of them.
They're all connected.
Yes, so, hey, Whisper. Once this meeting with the moots is over with, or, once everybody starts talking, can you kind of maybe spore to a couple different people of, maybe you're scared of the camps, how close are they? We need to know how close a camp is with one of the elves. We need to find it. So if you could get us that information.
Whisper asks the willow if it knows of any nearby Sun Chaser Sovereignty encampments.
As you start talking to it, just one of the willow fronds comes down and puts itself across your
Moots
lips.
business.
Figured once it's over.
And Yoshiyuki stands up and says, I would like to call forth the moots. He looks a little nervous. And as far as Suna can remember, he's never led one of these. And he says, I would like to recognize the following representatives. And he points to himself. I am Yoshiyuki. This is Naoko. And he points to your mother, who stands up. She will be representing our people, the Kitsune. He points to one of the Lamia and says, this is Praxisii of the Lamia. Points to the frog folk and says, this is Saripreep. And he stands up. He points to, there are now multiple Wendigo. And he points to one and says, this is Tunda.
Nope.
Representing the Wendigo.
You don't fuck with Wendigo, okay?
There are some fawn over near one side. And he points and says, Elspeth of the fawn. He points, stops, and looks. Where is the brownie delegation? And there's a very slight pop as two of them just appear in the, we'll say 3 steps down from him. And he goes, hi, there you are. I would like to introduce Better Tom and Best Tom of the Brownies. And both of them take off their mushroom caps and wave them.
Oh, that's offensive. Very offensive to whisper. Yeah.
Avaris of the High Branches. And you see Avaris, he does not stand. And a very special welcome to the Fear Eater. At which point there's just this kind of breeze and all the fronds on the willow tree rustle. Everyone just gets this shiver down their spine. And he says, well, unfortunately, that is all that can make it. Having said that, I announce this moot commenced. Having said that, let the first feast begin. And that's where we'll leave off, is a lot of the younger people coming in carrying just trays of food of all different kinds. And
you get to eat Todoki. Todoki.
Later, he'll get to take a Todoki. All people bringing all these trays of food in, and your father sitting back cross-legged and pulling out his pipe. So,
Other stuff besides granola.
yes,
Okay.
there is. We'll say, you know what? I'll tell you what kind of delicious dishes are there
Next time.
next time.
Hopefully there's cookies.
Nah.
Maybe.
No Galdrian cookies.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, the brownies probably want something sweet.
Coincidentally, the brownies brought brownies.
Or did they have pot in them?
Listen, what do you think happened to the rest of the mushrooms? They just took the caps. Yeah. So, having said that, you guys got anything?
Nope.
Nope.
Nope. All right. Well, find us at the places, do the things. Sponsor an F-bomb or 3. Leave reviews. Tell a friend. All right. So on that note, thanks for joining us. We'll see you guys next time.